Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 660. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy,
What's up?
Corey Feinstein,
Ahoy!
and Tony Korkanakis.
Yo!
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners and viewers. We are live on Twitch Tuesday nights. Please join us live.
Let's
8 o'clock.
do it.
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. And then following, we do a movie cast, Gamecast, and then the following day we're on YouTube. So subscribe to both channels. We appreciate it, guys. Please smash that subscribe button and the like button too. So, all right, guys. I don't know if I want to go right into this Baldur's Gate stuff.
Boy.
I've not played anything really this week, so
it has been.
Let's go. Let's go.
It has
Jim.
been an adventure that the game is. First of all, it's tough to get the game on Steam Deck to run well on my TV in terms of resolution wise. So, and that's a 4K TV.
Did you modify your Steam Deck at all?
No, and
you need to do the cryo tools.
Yeah, I started to.
That you have because you need to unlock the power of the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Like it is basically right now. If
it's shackled. It's wearing the full body weights. You need to take them off,
yeah,
Jim.
I mean, you're basically losing.
You need to be like Piccolo.
60% of its power right now. Like you can almost. I mean, maybe 75%. Yeah, like you're almost double. Like you definitely need to unlock that crowd tools.
Could use that.
Look up.
Like, it's. The game, it doesn't matter for me. I'm enjoying the game. Looks-wise, it doesn't matter. I just wanted to play it on the big screen, and I'm using my Xbox controller because the GameCube controller, the Switch controller Pro, just disconnects from it constantly for me. So I was like, okay, I don't know if that's a problem with my Switch controller or if that's just the way it's talking with Bluetooth. I don't know. It did. Tony, you said you saw me show up on Zelda.
Yeah, I was like, what? I was like, he's playing Zelda. Okay.
So I think it's the Switch just re-grabbing it constantly.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah. So I didn't think, but my Xbox doesn't care with the Xbox controller. It doesn't. It's repaired to the Steam Deck. It's not trying to talk to my Xbox at all now. Yeah. Thanks, Troy. Rock Lee dropped the weights of your Steam Deck. So, but guys, yeah, it is great. But anyway, so I got to play a lot of this, and I'm at 15 hours in the game now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Damn. I did not expect you to say that.
I thought I was at 6, and I
This
lost
is from what? 1 week? A weekend?
No, I bought it over the week. Yeah, I bought it last week, actually. It's a week. And
you're just getting started with it.
I lost like 3 hours because
2 hours a day.
I kept trying to go into a dungeon I couldn't win. And I couldn't figure out how to leave. I couldn't figure out how to flee. I haven't actually fled combat yet. I just died in one of the fights, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to reload and not go there right now. So I'm working on that. The game is a little tricky. It's funny because I'm playing it on the lowest difficulty setting because I'm like, there's a lot to manage in this game. And man, I just got to say, like, it's incredible, this world. It's so awesome. I was telling you guys on Discord, I think I screwed the entire ecosystem up because I went to, I don't know if anybody knows about Emerald Cove. It's pretty early in the game. I'm obviously it's 15 hours in and I'm still in like chapter 1, but I'm just walking around the area, and I love the way the combat's done because I can sit there and like you can kind of think about your moves, and giving me that ability really slows down my combat sometimes because I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to just blindly swing here. I'm going to use different spells. I'm going to combination things, especially when I just lost. I'm angry I lost that fight because I pulled off some awesome combination moves. And I was pissed they critted me. But I went to Emerald Cove, and there's like these demon ear I can't remember what they're called in D&D in the D&D world at this point. I'm sorry, fans of D&D and stuff that are that
yelling at our screen. Like, you should know this.
They're like devil-looking characters, but they're like oppressed.
Tieflings?
And like tieflings. Thank you,
dude. I've never even played D&D, and I know that.
Yeah, I was drawing a blank on the name. I knew who they were, and they're oppressed people, and they're in this Emerald Cove with the druids, and the druids are like they're like bastards. They're just beating the crap out of these people and oppressing them, and I'm just like, you guys should totally not take this anymore. Like, that's stupid. Don't do that. And there was a bunch of there's a bunch of persuasion rolls and stuff that I got, and eventually they were like, yeah, we're gonna stand up. We're gonna stand up for ourselves. We're gonna go talk to them. So I walked around the grove for a little bit, met some people, bought some things, got to my lay of my land about selling some stuff because I was still learning, and then I finally found where the Druid's Cove was over there in the Emerald Cove, and I walked over, and they're arguing with each other, and I was like, they were arguing, and they walked back to me, and they're like, they want to listen to us essentially. And I'm like, no, you shouldn't take that shit. You should stand up for yourselves. And after I said that, they were all murdered, and the Druids attacked me, and I'm like, well, shit. So I killed you couldn't kill them. They're knocked out. Because I guess certain characters you definitely can't kill, but I knocked out all of the major druids that were giving me my quest to go cure myself in the game. Because I was like, what do I do now? I don't know. So I killed them all. They all hate me. I went through and I wiped out the place in the cove. And so when I went back out into the Emerald Cove area where the tieflings were, they're all dead. The whole place is like, a massacre occurred. There was a massive war. Everybody's dead. I went to like loot vendors that I was like gonna sell shit to, and I just grabbed their stuff. It was all on them. Yeah, so it was like I got loaded up.
I got equipped. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, I got some enchanted armor like early on, and some +1 stuff.
Is it? It doesn't cheat at all with the inventories. It's what would have been there is there if they're dead.
It's weight based, and the guy was loaded up with armor. Yeah.
Cool.
And it's also I over encumbered myself.
Encumbered yourself,
crazy. Yeah, it was like I kept having to pass things off to different members of my group. I sent stuff to my chest in my camp. Yeah, sure. I'm sorry I didn't get the name right of the tieflings. But you know what's funny? Before I started the podcast, I'm like, I gotta remember the name. And I blanked on it. So that was hilarious. That was a hilarious sequence for me, and I was like, what do I do now?
Though it's like when you have a game that creates a memorable event that you know, just like this is something that I like did in this game that I didn't even realize could be possible.
Yeah. There's apparently supposed to be a quest that I had to look up what I was supposed to do with some of the, because this is a big world. So for me, I'm like, I got to find out some structure about what I'm supposed to be going to do. So I looked up a little bit of the walkthrough, and I'm like, I'm supposed to get a quest about going to find this druid to get cured. I'm like, I killed everybody that was supposed to give me the quest, and in fact, I also killed the person that you were looking for that was supposed to try to cure you and fail, and I killed her. Right, she was in the camp. I didn't even know it. I just killed. She's dead. Yeah, it's.
So you're not safe scumming, is what you're saying.
No, I'm not doing that. You know, I did. There's certain roles now where I do save it real quick on the rolls. And thank you, Tony, for the tip. By the way, for those wondering, there's like karma dice. Turn that off. Yeah, you win a lot more that way. And I'm playing this character.
Karma's bad, Jim. Karma?
Yeah. Well, because I'm playing this character very. I'm not good. And I'm not bad. I'm not bad. Just because I'm a bad guy doesn't make me a bad guy. Yeah. My character is kind of like, I don't give a shit, and if I don't like you when I start talking to you, I'm gonna intimidate the shit out of you. Yeah. So that's.
I'm gonna bully you.
Yeah. So I'm a fighter, half elf fighter, and there's also an orc in my party now because you recruit this orc, and she is awesome because she's right up my alley with a personality exactly the same. So we get into a lot of fights. And it's just a great world, and I really need to read up a little more on like inventory management and leveling a little bit. I'm level 3, but I think I don't know what the max level is, but it's not high actually in this game. It actually takes a while to go up.
Yeah, I mean D&D in general is 20.
Yeah, so level 3. I know that it said when I went to go enter the other area, it said you are bitterly under-leveled. It said something like that, and I was like, okay, so I guess I got another level. It said bitterly, I think it said to me, and I was like, okay. So before I left the area, I went back, and that's when I started fighting these wargs, and the wargs do some massive damage, so I do need to go upgrade, and I think there's other characters I need to go recruit in the area, so I'm going to explore a little bit.
Like everything I hear about this game, and like everybody else, like obviously you, Jim, is so excited for it, it's like, I'm going to have to get this game, aren't I?
Yeah. I mean, I had my first camp. I had my first
was playing it too. He's I think he knew.
Churro, yep.
And yeah, like, I totally agree. Like creating moments is what makes a game replayable. So.
Yeah, and I mean, like just to go into that real quick is like I think that's why we see games that just allow you expression and create those moments where it's like I created this, right? It's that sandbox. Right, like you look at this, you look at earlier in the year Tears of the Kingdom and stuff like that. I mean, Minecraft has been huge for over a decade at this point and stuff like that. And it's just because you can create things. You have that direct tie-in. It's not just like a roller coaster where you're just like
round peg in this square hole or whatever. It's like, oh, I could try to do that for like an hour or two, but then after a while it gets boring because it's like, you know, you can only do so much with that.
Yeah, one of the coolest. Right, exactly. You're making your own fun, right? Which is cool.
I mean, Churro said it best in the chat. Thank you, Churro. Creating moments. That's what make games replayable too. So many choices.
Yeah.
So many things you can do.
Like murder a whole village.
Like murder a whole village. Yeah. I didn't murder the village. They murdered themselves, for the record. I cleaned up.
I just encouraged them to stand up for themselves.
All I did was clean up.
But one of the cool things I saw at this game was Matt Mercer, who was a prominent voice actor and avid Dungeons and Dragons Critical Role. Also the voice of Ganondorf from Tears of the Kingdom. He was playing, and I forget the specifics exactly, but there is a castle or a keep he wanted to get into, and he was like, well, I can't figure this out, so what I'm going to do? And he just took crates, right? And all he did was kept piling crates on crates on crates on crates until he was like equal level with the top level of the keep or the castle, whatever it was, and then he had his character shoot an arrow, like a teleport arrow, like kind of like a Green Lantern thing or a Green Arrow thing, where it's just like as soon as it hit, then his character teleported over, and he just like not broke the game, but like he used his character's abilities and suites to figure out a solution. And I love stuff like that. Like, you know, go back to like you know, New Vegas and stuff like that, where you just have so many different solutions to these puzzles and these quests, where it's like, okay, I love that. Like, it just rewards your ingenuity there.
And the game doesn't hold your hand very much, actually. So it that's where, for me, I also need a little structure myself. So that's why I looked up stuff online, because I do need a little bit myself the way I play it. But like, you know, you're in front of a door and it's closed. Like, I went into a burning building in the game, and there was somebody like trapped in a room. So I'm like, well, I'm not sure what I'm going to do in this door, so I'm just going to beat the shit out of the door and open it. That's what I'm doing as a character, so that's what I did. I smashed the door eventually and walked in. But there's so many different ways you could have probably gotten in there. And that's like, there's people locked away that I didn't free. Now they're dead in that camp. They were dead, and I feel bad because there was a goblin. I feel like
Jim, I'm so curious what your body count's going to be at the end. Not your body count. Like I killed these people with my own hands. Just I killed these people's by not my own hands. Like I would love to see that body count.
The actions I took throughout this world.
It's the balance of like, is it really my fault? Yeah, is it really my fault if I just push them a little bit?
If you weren't in that moment in time, if you weren't there, none of this would have happened.
Listen, maybe I argue that the seeds were already planted. I just let them. I just let them grow. I just let it grow.
Just
okay,
put some water on.
You watered it a little bit.
You were the water.
I did pour gasoline on the fire. Is what I did.
We're mixing metaphors.
Yeah. But I very much enjoy this game. Actually, I'm putting it on this laptop. Is a gaming laptop. I just remembered, so I'm like, I'm gonna put it on here and see how it runs too, because I can plug in this into my TV too. But it's cloud saved, so I can hop back and forth on my Steam Deck when I'm working and stuff. So there's a positive. And on the Steam Deck, it looks great. It runs amazing. It's the transition to the TV. It's just the transition to the TV that's the hold up. But Corey, you know, the handcuff thing, I'm gonna take a look into that myself. So, but yeah, the game's a lot of fun. It is 100% a Game of the Year candidate, and it's very strong. It's very strong.
Like, Jim is that meme of that girl smiling while the burning building's behind her.
Yep.
Yes, I am. Yeah. So, and I had, go on.
No, I mean, I did this a little bit on the Discord, and you gave me an answer. But for everyone who's listening, from my perspective, I'm someone who's not really into the fantasy concepts. I never played Dungeons and Dragons. I don't particularly like turn-based games, although I've played them more in recent years than I used to. You think now, but I'm fascinated by all the talk about this game, about how the choice and how malleable everything is. So you think I still wouldn't like this game? It's too hard.
Did you ever play Knights of the Old Republic?
No.
That's the combat, essentially. That's the combat. I mean, that's.
I played. Obviously, I enjoyed Midnight Suns. I played Like a Dragon, but I even played Dragon Age Inquisition, and the combat sucked in that game.
It's based on like, it's like you have to queue up. Like you pick an attack, they do it, and then you can move around the map, and you can do a second bonus action sometimes, and then you end a turn, and then somebody else moves, and somebody else moves, and somebody, you know what I mean? Like, that's how it works. So I don't know. I just feel like for you, you're not into the fantasy worlds. Yeah, the game's freedom is incredible, but I don't know if it's. I don't know. Yeah, maybe
my
not.
Other my other problem is it's coming out when Starfield is coming out for me on PlayStation. So that's not going to happen then.
Like, the thing for me that worry for me about this game for you, the biggest worry is that you will like it, and then you're talking about the gameplay hours for you. I mean, I don't even know what you'd spend in this world.
I have some problems. If you're done anyway, I will tell you what happened to me. I'm in a predicament right now.
Go ahead.
So as you know, I was on vacation. This was a family vacation. The family got, we took ourselves away from our small business, and for about 3 or 4 days went on a trip. And my brother was with us, and he has been playing Tears of the Kingdom, and he's like, oh, I'm pretty much done. So why don't you try it for a little bit? So on the trip, I tried it. He brought us a Switch, obviously, so I played it a little bit, and it turns out it's, especially with him watching, as someone who's played through most of the game, me playing as an almost intentionally, honestly, I was trolling him a little bit, just being extra stupid about everything. Me playing as an idiot in the beginning was fun. Just seems like what? Because apparently I like ass backwards, like did a few things early on. I'm like, he's like, how did you end up there? Like I like fell on top of something that was, I guess you were supposed to do a whole puzzle to get to. I'm like, nope. So I actually liked it.
Wow.
I mean, I don't care for the story whatsoever. I kind of think it's weird that there's voice acting in Zelda games now. It doesn't fit every time it happens, in my opinion. But no, I'm just going through there, and it's really the building stuff that I like the most, which is, I know, new to the series. But his dumbass was not as close to the end as he thought. Now that we're back to the real world again, he took him. And he's like, "Oh, I'll beat it in like a day or something." Nope, he's found all this other shit. So now I still don't know when he's gonna be done that I can borrow it back, because I still don't see myself paying a whole other $70 for this. But I would be playing that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm in this holding pattern where, like, I have Starfield looming September 7th, but there is a beefy game I do want to sort of experience, but I don't have it now, so I'm just grinding away at Street Fighter.
One more fun thing I did in that same Emerald Cove village, and I don't know if anybody else, I don't know the story for this at all, but I took the statue that the druids were worshipping, which gave me like this bonus thing to walk around with. It gives me perks. But I went back to the cove where I stole it from, and it's starting to fill with poison gas.
So, but you didn't do anything. You're not gonna be responsible for anybody that dies.
This wasn't the one that.
Look, the druids were dead. Who's gonna worship it? So I'm just bringing it with me, because it's just gonna go. What's gonna?
This is gonna go to waste, right?
Yeah. What's it gonna do? So I took the statue, and it was funny because I went back and I'm like, where did this poison come from? and I left it, so I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, sorry, Churro. Yeah, the poor village. But yeah. Oh God, it's the experience is so good. I remember it just makes me remember like those games, those worlds where you can just do whatever the fuck you want, and it's just hilarious, the encounters. But Tony, what have you been playing?
So as for me, I am resisting the urge to get Baldur's Gate 3 as well, because literally everybody I know is like playing it or talking about it, and I'm even like watching like Act 1 streams where it's like, I'm not worried about like anything too big in terms of spoilers and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer, because I got I have multiple games that I still have to play, but I was like, I really wanted to play Octopath Traveler 2, which I got earlier in the year. So I was like, I'm gonna play through this first, because by the time I finish this, then I assume I'm going to Starfield. We'll see. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a little bit on the news. But I figure after 1 or 2 games, it might be patched up a little bit, because I hear there's some weird bugs and stuff like that later on in the game that you might experience. I'm like, my one friend lost an hour of her save just because she sequence broke something or something. So I was like, oh, that doesn't sound good. So, but yeah, I've been playing Octopath Traveler 2, only like 2 hours or so, but it coming off of Final Fantasy 16, and I hate to shit on this game, because it's really not bad. It's just, disappointed. Like, it would be hard for a game to be more disappointed this year for me.
No.
Final Fantasy 16. I mentioned Final Fantasy coming off of Final Fantasy. Yeah, no. Coming off of Final Fantasy 16, which, in my opinion, so far this year, in August 15th, 2/3 of the way. Like, I have a hard time feeling something is going to be more disappointing to me than that game. With the exception of Starfield. Like, if Starfield is just so trash, like, if they give me another Fallout 4 but in space, I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm done with Bethesda.
What, Tony? You didn't think Redfall was going to be the game of the year?
No. I only played it because it was on Game Pass, and I wanted to experience the shittiness. Like, I knew going in, like, it was shitty. And the thing is, like...
it's still disappointing.
No, it's not disappointing. It exceeded expectations because it was that bad that I at least had some fun with it, right? Yeah. But anyway, Octopath Traveler 2, so far, even in, like, the 2 hours I've played, it's already, like, given me exactly what I want. Like... To me, this should be a Final Fantasy game, right? Because it looks like a Super Nintendo, PlayStation era, well, Super Nintendo.
Or these 3D, 2D
games. Exactly. Which just feels so good. And for those of you who don't know, Octopath stands for 8. There's 8 travelers. So the premise of the game is like they have 8 characters on the world map as soon as you load up a game. And it's like, pick the character that you want to experience first, right? And all the 8 characters, they have their different classes and backgrounds and motivations and stuff like that. So I picked the thief character, whose name is Throne, which is weird. I've never heard of that before, but Square Enix loves their made-up names and shit like that. And she's part of a like underground like League of Assassins kind of thing, where it's just like they steal and murder and all that shit. And in kind of typical trope fashion, she's sent on a mission that, it seems like maybe she was set up for and stuff like that. And now, kind of on a quest for revenge / wants to get her freedom and stuff like that. And it's just really cool because, like, each of the characters has their own, again, professions and stuff like that. So for her, and what they added in this game is kind of cool. You have day features and night features. So in the day, she can just steal from people. Like, I can go to a townsperson and just be like, what do you got, buddy? And I could, like, their inventory will, like, just pop up in a screen. And if they have any items, obviously, not everybody does. They'd be like, it'll give you a percentage of what your success rate is for, like, taking these items and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, clearly, everything is mine. Like, I have access to all this stuff. Why would I not help myself to all these things and whatnot? So that's been fun. But also at night, then, her thing changes to ambush, where she'll sneak up on somebody and, like, knock them out, right? So she gains access to new areas in like the towns and stuff like that. So it's pretty fun in terms of like just figuring that, because like there will be other areas if it's like the first game where it's like you can't access this unless you have her in your party, and vice versa. Like there's like a merchant, there's a hunter and stuff like that. So it's really fun. The battle is just like the old school like turn-based systems, but kind of like Bravely Default, where you could store up charges and then you can like unleash like a supercharge attack where it's like you just save it, and then you want to do like kind of like Persona, where it's like a weakness to either elements or weapons, like dagger, cane, axe, sword, stuff like that. So you want to expose their weakness, so you dizzy them for a turn, and you just want to unleash like your strongest moves and stuff like that. And it's super satisfying, where you're like, it's kind of like a limit break in Final Fantasy or something like that. You're just like, yeah, I'm gonna like fucking kill you right now. Like you just like see the number, like big numbers, and stuff like that. So I'm enjoying it a lot. It is a meaty game, so I'm hoping to get it done before Starfield. We'll see.
All right, cool. All right, Corey.
Yeah, I think I mentioned before, I haven't really been playing much. Been getting up really early recently, and it's going to bed early, so haven't had much time.
It's tough for gaming with that. I know that. So, all right, let's get into some news, guys. We have a rumor for the PS5 Slims. So the SKU shows up. Possibly 5 centimeters shorter with a detachable disk drive.
It seems 5 centimeters shorter, detachable. Okay, I mean, so it looks almost the same.
It looks the same, but shorter, shrunk, and no disk drive. So it'll be thinner, detachable disk drive. So it'll be
this
thinner.
Much shorter, right? That's about 5 centimeters, right?
Yeah. I mean, inch roughly. So when I hear slim, I think,
we're never gonna get the super slim stuff like the PS2 Slim, not even the PS3 Slim. Those days are long gone. Like,
yeah, I think you're right. Didn't the PS4 have like a tiny unit too? I mean, I don't know, but maybe it didn't.
They changed the model of it a few times. Yeah, it's got a little smaller.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. I mean, they are dropping the price in this. The PS5's gone down. I've been on sale a few times.
Right. Well, so I mean, in a couple countries, they dropped the price by $50 or equivalent. And that's pretty much everybody's. Is apparently it's a elephant in the room kind of thing where it's like, yep, they're just clearing out the old models because they're prepping for this new model, which could what we could be seeing is not necessarily the PS5 Slim. It could just be the new PS5 revision, where instead of having
power maybe
right, where I think again because they want to get a single SKU. I think this is what they're going for. They're going to go for a single SKU in terms of hey, you get the PS5, but it's digital base, and then you can opt in to purchase that digital the disc drive, right?
Disc drive, yeah.
Because it just make things easier and stuff like that.
I think that's a great idea for them, but I know that I've seen it on sale this weekend. It was PS5 with the disc drive. With the disc drive, this was a $399.
So then, is it that the disc drive is sold separately now?
That's what he's saying. So it looks like it'll be.
I'm sure they'll probably release both, maybe at some point. I don't know.
It's weird. 2 SKUs again.
I know, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's PS5. If you want the disc drive, you buy the disc drive. I think it's gonna be $450 and then disc drive $50.
Yeah, they might do it promotions where you just get it or something like that. I don't know. I assume it might be the holiday bundle too, because Sony loves their holiday bundles.
Yeah.
They'll probably throw in Horizon and
God of War.
No, not God of War yet. They got to get a little bit more out of it. Maybe Ratchet and Clank or Gran Turismo. I don't know. Miles Morales.
What's that zombie game?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Gotham Knights game director left. From
a lot of people left. It wasn't just that. If you have to go through that.
I read that.
Title. I mean.
Patrick. So Jeff Eleanor, game director. Let's see. Patrick Redding, creative director, and Fleur Marty, who actually made some comments. The executive producer has. They left WB Games Montreal. Fleur Marty's comments were more of the damning comments about the studio itself, frustrations, toxic relationship. Basically, he compared it to never a good look when you have an employee leaving and posting about that. WB Games obviously released Gotham Knights recently, which was not critically acclaimed, and I feel like it was a forced made game, and I think that causes a lot of issues with people that are making something. But
that's the only thing they produced in 8 years. So I think this was revised forcibly several times, and it's quite obvious with the fake, there should be microtransactions, but there aren't sort of gear system in the game. So I mean, the outside forces obviously forced a lot of what happened with that game, and it just took super long for them to produce anything. So I think this is at least the third thing they tried. That's what came out. It was mediocre, and not surprised everyone is unhappy there.
Yeah. That's it. So I don't know. Well, I don't even know what the next project is going to be. If they're not just.
Does anybody care? I mean, it just seems like with this and Suicide Squad, Warner Brothers has again just tarnished that whatever reputation they had or pedigree or whatever, and it's just who's gonna care? I don't know.
It's
sad. Honestly sad.
I really wonder still if my theory is that the games got switched from the development from one to the other almost, and that Rocksteady wanted their official Arkham series game to be theirs after saying they wanted to do something totally different.
But they wanted
But
they wanted to do something different, and they did.
They did. But they also wanted it to be in their universe. It seems like the universes got switched here, because someone decided late that Rocksteady should have the official, continuation, even though it has nothing gameplay-wise to do with the Arkham series. That's just my, theory here that could be part of it.
Yeah.
Because again, the premise of Gotham Knights is more or less just an altered, where you are at the end of Arkham Knight. So it's just strange that happened that way, unless something like that happened, where there's a little bit of conflict between the studios almost under the Warner Brothers banner, which I wouldn't be surprised. Not at all.
It's what it seems like we're seeing in both movies and on video games. So
yeah, I mean, whatever. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Just showed Warner Brothers, just their fucking leadership is just shit. And even beforehand, I remember years ago, Rocksteady had those project leads openings on their career site, and I don't know if you guys, I remember talking about it on the podcast. I was like, this is bad. This is bad that X game is supposed to be out in 2 to 3 years, and they still don't have project leads. That is a bad sign. And here we are, 2023, going into 2024, and hopefully soon.
When was the DC Fandom? The first one where we heard about
2020?
Oh man, and it's just weird stuff is happening. It's even weird. The last.
No, it was 2019. It was COVID time.
I'm saying wasn't
2020 was COVID.
Yeah.
It wasn't
sorry. 2020. You're right.
And even Rocksteady's leadership left too. Sefton Hill left, although they wheeled him out again for a video for Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League, even though he's not with the company anymore, which was odd that they had him there. So I don't know, but all that's in the past now. Who knows what that game's going to be?
Yeah.
Next year or the year after, or whenever the hell it comes out. But
yeah.
All right. It's a shame.
All right, Microsoft Xbox is instituting a game strike system for their players for obviously if you do violations and you get strikes, right? So basically the new enforcement strike system educates players about enforcement severity, cumulative effect of multiple enforcements, and the total impact on their standing. Players can receive a total of 8 strikes. Each strike remains on record for 6 months. Each strike results in a suspension from Xbox's social features for varying lengths of time, and every player will start with a blank slate, obviously, or 0 strikes. Previous enforcements must still be completed of other things. So that's your summary of it. Trying to improve their ecosystem of just shit talk, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's a toxic world out there when you get onto the mics, and it's crazy how these kids these days, how they treat each other online.
I mean, I would say it's
remember the last game that maybe it was Rocket League, but I played Rocket League again recently, and after not playing it for a year, no one even does quick chat anymore. Everyone quit it. They don't want to talk at all anymore, which I think is a little bit of a shame. I found it fun even when people were being toxic. I found, because then you're motivated to sort of show them a little more, but whatever. That's no one wants to talk anymore in that game.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't blame it, because even all right, let's go back to Xbox 360 days, right? The peak of the Xbox ecosystem, or inarguably, right? I mean, all the times, even back then, 2000, we're talking about 2007, 2008 with Halo 3 or whatever. I'll just start that because that was before Call of Duty got big, right? And I mean, we always heard kids and teenagers and adults too. I won't say adults obviously weren't, but there was just so much toxicity, so much racism, so much misogyny. It was not even worth chatting, right? And we went from voice chat being prominent in every single game. Which, if you got into a nice lobby where you didn't have these people, it was great. But if you did, it was well, I'm muting everybody, right? And what the fuck's the point? And you look at today, or even in the last generation, PS4 and Xbox One, I didn't know anybody that used voice chat on anything, right? I only played a couple games online, like Rocket League, Overwatch,
it's usually
and stuff like that.
A surprise. You're wait, somebody's chatting.
Yeah, exactly. It's a surprise. And it's just, I think people.
They're just playing annoying music in the background anyway.
Oh, I hate those people too. We're just
I'd rather have them call me the worst things in the world than that music.
No. But either way, I think it's good that Microsoft's doing this. It might be too little too late, or it might be one of those things where I feel like we're not going to see the fruits of this labor for a while. I hope I'm wrong on that. I hope it's pretty immediate. I mean,
it's definitely, I think, better than nothing.
Oh yeah, absolutely, it's better than nothing for sure.
So it's encouraging to see that there's steps being made try to improve that, because I do think when the heyday of the Xbox, and Halo and stuff like we talked about, it was like cool to meet people online and talk to them, and random strangers, and you sometimes you struck up a great friendship with random people online that you never would have talked to otherwise. So that's something that is definitely missed these days, and now it's really you're just kind of watching a Twitch streamer that you enjoy, and that's where you're getting that same vibes from. I'd say.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is too is like, so it's not just voice chat. Obviously, that is a huge component, but like, I think it's like it covers text or messages, and stuff like that. Behavior, everything. So it's all encompassing. Mike, no messaging people angrily anymore.
You guys suck at this.
I'll do it once. I got 8.
I got 8.
You did 7.
That was maybe the last time.
Space them out though, like, and then you just let them fall off.
That was the last time I think I had an angry interaction. Was maybe 2 years ago on Halo Infinite when the guy was delivering the flag to the wrong place.
We remember.
Yeah. I mean, I think he deserved a message. He needed to know that he was going backwards. But whatever.
And it's still reviewed, so even if you say anything really that bad, they're not giving you a strike, but they can report it. So, all right. Lastly in the news, we've got TMNT, The Last Ronin, officially announced by THQ Nordic.
That trailer, man.
Don't call it a trailer.
Is that a trailer? It's more like guys, a poster.
Let me just start this off saying I am both excited and very upset that they announced it now, because this game is light years away. Like, we're not gonna see this for 5 years, guys? 5 years?
I mean,
who knows?
I would hope a little less if they showing it.
You can't. They
didn't show anything.
In this announcement, they didn't show anything, and it says likely still a few years off, which means if they're thinking a few years already, add another 2 on top of that.
Yeah. Whatever.
It's let's see. I'll give you guys the rundown of what was announced. Set in a futuristic, war-ravaged New York City, darker tone aimed at older and more mature audience, based on a limited-run graphic novel. Obviously, only one Ninja Turtle still alive. Senior VP of Paramount compared it to big ARPGs like God of War. Coming exclusively to current gen. I don't know how that's possible in 5 years. PS5, Xbox, and PC. This is going to be a game that jumps.
It'll still be in current gen in 5 years.
Yes.
Current gen is current gen.
Yeah, it's true. Developed by Black Force Games, Destroy All Humans company, and like I said, likely still a few years off. So exciting, but also way too early to announce something. If you couldn't show us anything,
they got pressured into just announcing this.
Well,
for the movie.
Well,
there were rumors.
There were rumors all over the place.
There was rumors, but so hold on, real quick. There's some, I guarantee you there's truth to what Corey's saying, right? You want to build off of the hype, right? Everything is connected. You want co IP proliferation of popularity. So I mean, what's the most? What else outside of the movie coming out are people going to be paying attention to Turtles?
There's a high probability that the second movie will be out before this game is out.
No, I'm not disputing that, Jim. I'm not disputing, but I'm saying, do you think it's really coincidence that around the new animated movie, there's the Street Fighter Turtle collaboration and then this announcement? You really think that's coincidental?
I know why.
That's
Turtle
designed,
power, man.
Right?
Turtle power.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Corey's right there. But the other thing that this is, and we see this a lot, right? This is a recruitment ad, right? This is them saying, hey, we want to work on the Last Ronin video game. Come work on this video game with us. And personally, I get it. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, you don't have shit right now. You don't have shit. Yeah. It's just, this is going to be...
If you haven't seen the trailer, it's just
it's nothing.
Literally
it's fucking nothing. Yeah.
That are going out one by one until there's one candle left.
Right.
And that's the entire thing.
And so, I get it, right? I get that. But also, the studio behind it does not leave much confidence.
Heck, we saw more of Beyond Good and Evil than we saw.
That's true. We did.
See, and the other thing for me is this isn't even the Turtles game I want. Honestly.
This is a great story, though, Mike. This is fun. I think
it'll be a good graphic novel. I might pick it up sometime. But...
I will.
You want that team up game?
But I want distinct personalities, different abilities for them. I want them to be a team. I want 4 turtles.
Wait, you've played both God of War games, and how many hours did you play those games?
Yeah, so this has to be better than a God of War game because there's just
so you're going to get a God of War styled Ninja Turtles game.
Angry, I almost spoiled who I already know who it is.
Jim. Like it's like saying you can't compare it like that. That's like
I'm comparing it like that. Yes, it is.
I'm just saying it's like, all right, well, let's
I'm excited
turn.
for this.
It's not. I sincerely doubt it'll be as good, like technically, as the God of War game.
No, it's impossible. So, it is impossible. I can't argue
that.
Impossible.
I can't argue that. But
so,
I'm just saying that.
And to me, when I understand like the story, and while it's an interesting sort of possible future, like Elseworld almost story for the Turtles, even though not so much for me because they're like the first IP I ever knew when I was 4, and I was afraid to get into them. And then my dad literally told me, "Oh, they're the good guys; they never lose," and that's what let me get into it. So to me, I don't want dead turtles in my life, but because of that, but I still may read it at some point. But still, like, I just don't think what the turtles are is represented by what this game will be, and so it's just what the game is then, and then it has to be better on its own merits.
I'd say you can't really look at this as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. It's gonna be its own thing, and that's fine. Like you do have like the Shredder's Revenge game now, and you got the collection of Turtles games, and it'd be nice to have a high, production value 4-player Turtles game, but having something different and using the IP and following this storyline seems like it could be interesting. Like I said, I don't believe it's going to be anywhere near God of War's quality.
There's no way. There's no way. Let's get this out in the open. There's no way, right? God of War is a $200 million budget game. There is zero chance this will even have $100 million budget, right? Half.
The movie had $100 million.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So let's just get that clear, right? But I don't think it's wrong of them to want to take a risk, right? At being like, hey, we want to see if there's a market for the older audience that wants like a grimdark, gritty,
Batman turtle,
right? Or whatever you want to say. Yeah, turtle. Yeah. Stuff like that. So that's fine. And I don't think that that prevents a traditional beat 'em up or co-op 4-player cartoony, lighthearted Turtles game from appearing either, right? I would actually be more surprised if we didn't have another Turtles game by the time this game comes out. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Right? It's different markets and stuff like that.
No, I think we get that 100%. Especially like with Shredder's Revenge being so successful, we should see a follow up to that at some point.
Yeah, I'll even make I'll make we will see a game based on the new Turtle series, the animated,
the Seth Rogen.
Yeah, the Seth Rogen. I guarantee you see a game from that universe before Last Ronin. I guarantee it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, cool. And that's it for the news, guys. So it's going to wrap up this episode of the Gamecast. So thanks for tuning in. We appreciate everybody once again. We are live on Twitch on Tuesday night.
How dare Churro. They said they aren't going to show it and not come out in the next few years. Looks at Metroid 4. Wow.
Yeah. Well,
wow. So first of all,
absolutely right.
Okay, they're not wrong, but the context is different. Where they worked on it for years, and they were like, "Hey, we have to restart development on it." Right? It's not just how many times did Square Enix tease like a Final Fantasy VII remaster? Like 3 times. They showed it on PS2 press conference, the PS3 press conference, and finally the PS4 press conference. Like, guys, it's real. We're actually doing it this time. It's like, okay, so it wasn't just a CGI tech demo or whatever like that. Okay, go on. Sorry.
For the record, we're both still good on our bet because we have nothing for either. So Beyond Good and Evil 2 is just as in my mind is just as far along as Metroid Prime 4.
Yep. Absolutely.
As I say those words,
those of Gordon was not playing it right now too.
Yeah. I mean, as I say the words, I know it's not true, but in terms of what we know, it's true. But it's unbelievable that. That's why I worry about announcing stuff like this because it may not even come out. It may not ever even see the light of day.
What?
This Turtles game. This may not even come out.
Oh, I mean, you're right. Yeah. It could be. It absolutely could be. If they don't get the people and stuff like that.
It also could come out and be totally shit too.
It seems nothing more than a concept at this point. That's all.
No, you're right. That's what I just said. I guarantee you, all they were like, we want to adapt Last Ronin and we want to do it in the God of War style.
I know that. It's just like. But it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
No, you're right. Absolutely. I agree. It exists on paper, and that is it.
That's all we got. This announcement is how it exists.
I mean, technically, it's just as close to coming out as Suicide Squad right now. Who knows if that's
at least we've seen Suicide
No, I'm just saying. That just getting delayed. Everything is getting delayed. Everything's getting delayed, and when you think you're gonna get something, probably not happening.
Yeah.
But I mean, speaking of which, though, like this fall, like we talked about the summer, so many games. Like already, you guys have been talking about so many games that I'm like just missing all these games. But this fall is just ridiculous with games coming out. Because I mean, we have Baldur's Gate that you're playing now, and then Starfield, Spider-Man. It's like coming. It's like what are we gonna do? There's so much. There's no time.
Mortal Kombat. I got like a Dragon Gaiden.
Yeah.
Maybe that Sonic game. The Cyberpunk.
So
Cyberpunk
that's gonna be
a legitimate expansion from Cyberpunk. Yeah. So changing the game.
You're not gonna be watching any movies or TV. So
well, I mean, I gotta call them. Thank you for reminding me. I gotta cancel my A list. But thank you for reminding me. All right, I'll do that tomorrow. But all right, yeah, that's gonna wrap up the episode. So once again, folks, we go, guys. If you're watching this on YouTube, because I know we have a bunch of new viewers, I appreciate it, guys. Oh, smash the subscribe and like button though, so you get notified as soon as we go live with our content. And the same thing on Twitch, guys. I know we have some new viewers over on Twitch, so always subscribe so you can join us on these podcasts when we start them, and we have a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in once again. We're gonna wrap it up here. We appreciate it. More stories next week on Baldur's Gate, I'm sure, and we'll see you guys soon. All right.